The electrical box was stacked with piss. A couple days had passed since we captured the footage of the culprit in the act, and I was reluctant to set up my DigitGarden 4K waterproof trail cameras, mainly because my 2 project managers were missing. Grant was abroad, enjoying himself on a meaningless trip to Norway, while Katz was tied up with many of life's distractions. So I took this time to monitor and track the culprit's movements, day in and day out, the comings and goings of the piss bottles. But as the days passed, the bottles remained on the electrical box. More bottles would appear overnight, some with more labels than usual, and he even went to the extent of placing decals on the box. Was he taunting me? Was this piss cat and mouse? But one thing I did notice, no one was picking them up. I returned to the footage from the DigitGarden 4K waterproof trail camera that had shifted in the tree, framing out the electrical box, hoping that I would discover some clue regarding the pickup that day. Although this was quite the task because it recorded every single person, cyclist, and car that passed by. The only thing I was able to capture was a man in a construction worker type vest observing and taking photos of the bottles. He then moves out of frame but looks to be collecting them. Was this a city cleanup crew guy? Or a sketchy piss recipient who was wearing a city cleanup crew guy decoy outfit? Meanwhile, online, my Piss Saga intro video was racking up views, even to the point where people from the neighborhood would reach out and send their own piss bottle stories and photos. One person sent me an origin story about how the piss bottles started off on a different electrical box at a nearby park, and then gradually moved east, eventually claiming the current box. Another unsettling anecdote was about a time when the culprit tied a bottle to a string and hung it from a tree branch. People were consumed with piss and had started developing their own theories as to what was occurring beyond the wall. A drug drop disguised as human urine? Clean urine for people who needed to pass a drug test? Or just a person that wanted to showcase their massive collection of piss? Then someone sent me a message that caught my interest. A user claimed that they owned a crime scene bio and hazardous waste company and had been doing cleanups at the piss box for the past 2 years. Within their company, employees referred to the culprit as the P Bandit and had inside knowledge that checked out with my footage of the city's cleanup crew guy. They even let me know when they were going to pick up next, which checked out. This negated a lot of theories regarding the pickup, but I still had one question that had been eating at me this entire time, and there was really only one way I could answer it. We were going to have to collect a sample. We knew the Piss Bandit was extremely calculated and that he would be alerted if one of his bottles was missing. We were playing chess and needed to offer a gambit to gain positional advantage. By this I of course mean we implement a decoy piss bottle. Grant returned that Saturday and I had him meet me directly from the airport. We then got straight to work. Using a mixture of unsweetened pure leaf green tea and unsweetened pure leaf regular tea, we were able to concoct the perfect human urine decoy. Next, we had to replicate the Piss Bandit's hand-drawn calling card, and that was usually left on the bottle's inner label. Fortunately, Grant was known to have terrible handwriting and was able to perfectly match the signage. Then, we headed to the location in our decoy outfits. Me as a normal construction worker, and Grant as a recently divorced, disheveled project manager who just returned from a meaningless trip to Norway. It was our most daring mission yet. We had a plan that we would follow precisely. I would use a specimen grabber thing to pick up the real bottle of piss, while Grant quickly replaced it with a decoy. Then he would take our sample and secure it in our own custom-made specimen box. We had our sample. Now it was time to undergo the test.